All right, as we get to our agenda, a quick nod to what's been. Gil McLachlan, the bye round ahead of the finals. It is his brainchild, and unsurprisingly, he is standing by it all the way home.
Since we've done it, the top 4 teams have won every time except once. I think the fact that a team could win outside the top 4, if that's what it's generated, that's a good thing. I know that it's still better to finish top 4 than bottom 4. We're able to set up a lot of things, an incredible opening into AFLW on the weekend. In terms of lack of momentum, which is an argument, I mean, Melbourne, Sydney's now sold, looking for 78 to maybe 80,000 people. The other games sold out. People are building, talking, actually generates momentum. So I think it's actually been a good thing. I think people get back from injury. We have full squads. The football is better for it because people are rested. So the only argument I can hear, apart from people, no one likes change and they want to bleat about stuff, is the fact that maybe is that concept that the advantage of being the top 4 is less than what it was. Well, if it means that one team can actually get up in that period and win, I think it's a good thing.
So that's the case for it, and Gil has mounted that from day one, 2016, and the Bulldogs came to win the flag. And you can have this any way you like. You can regard it as an irritant or an inconvenience, but you do have to acknowledge what's happened. So in the scientific experiment, if you change one parameter and it radically affects your result, you at least have to acknowledge that that's happened. So this is what's taken place, and it is all about the qualifying final winners, which historically was the biggest advantage you could get.
Yep.
The only way to earn a breather was to win a breather, and this is what it looks like. Both would go on to win the preliminary finals 75% of the time, and never did both lose and fail to make the grand finals a pairing. And then we inserted the bye, and this is what it did, is both making the prelim became a rarity, and it introduced the idea that both would get beaten on the way to the grand final. And you can balance that up however you like. If you want the bottom 4 teams to have a better chance, all power to you. But what it does, it materially diminishes the advantage that that qualifying finalists would win in the hardest earned way. The only way to get a breather was to win that qualifying final, and then it sets you up from there.
Footy's all about momentum. We know that. And when you have, if you win through and you've got one game in sometimes
27 days.
27 days, it's not right. I'm with Chris Fagan on this. Chris has been pretty outspoken on it for the last, not outspoken, he's made people aware of it in the last couple of years, and I agree with him. And listening to guys, and Dermot's pretty strong on it as well, that the game is about attrition as well as the spectacle. And I agree with Gil as well. The rest, the better players are fitter and the games are better generally. I agree with that. But I suppose because we grew up with it, we shouldn't be handing or taking away the advantage too much. I've always liked it. And that's not living in the past. I think that's a sense of fairness, to be honest. So I'm in favour of not having the bye. And it was brought in. We all know why it was brought in. So there's 2 byes a year. Have this second one through the year, Gerard.
Yeah. So it was brought in to protect the integrity of round 23, but it compromises the actual stuff that matters.
That is in September.
Anyway, the history lesson is important.
What would you do?
There's no way I would have it there. I'm absolutely open to the idea of the bye on the way to the grand final, particularly with the concussion protocols now the way that they are. And evidently that worked
really well
build-up
to the grand final.
Last year, we've had one example of that. But it certainly helps with ticket sales. There's no doubt about that. And we have a sellout in Brisbane.
It helps.
We have a sellout in Perth.
And
we have a sellout at the MCG.
It helps with ticket sales?
Yeah.
Cash.
And I suspect that one of the core reasons is it just makes that process much easier. And that's what gets people through the gates.
We'll soon, one day before we die, we'll have a wild card weekend before the finals. We'll have about 8 teams in it.
It'll be awesome. Give me footy instead of no footy. If there's a choice...
There was footy, Gerard. It was the launch of the AFL
Of course,
season.
and that'll be in our show. But you know that's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
If there's a choice to continue the path of the season rather than halt it, I'm in the favour of keeping the path of the season going.
Well, we haven't started finals really well. We've had an argument already.
Tom Lynch has just been on couch, so he's right. The word out of Richmond they're declaring as Dustin Martin gets through training tomorrow. He's right. And that is a rather thrilling prospect. We haven't seen him since round 16. He's only played 8 games this year, and he is the finals player of his generation.
Oh, he's the best finals player ever. And if anyone is old enough to remember other finals players, do ring up. Come on our open night, whatever that night was, and tell us Dustin Martin's the best finals player. But he won't be the best finals player this year.
No.
The game's too hard. He's missed. He was supposed to miss 2 weeks with a slight hamstring. That was 9 weeks ago.
Yep.
9. If he comes on and dominates, my God, what a...
Oh,
what a-
exactly.